The only way that Rogue can play is, scrape by the skin of their teeth and, make all of their fans' hearts melt and then survive at the very last second. That's the Rogue and Kronovi way as we're underway here in game one.
Look for a second in the middle of the season that they were going to do the exact same script as last year, where they did scrape into the playoffs and then eventually make it into the top 4 teams in the region, but that didn't happen this time. They've taken a bit longer to figure each other out as a team. That's already a chance for Wonder, and another one for First Killer. He's going up high with it. Oh, Kronovi falls through. That's 1-0 already.
Yeah, Memory attempted save. This was just going to be a tee up for First Killer, but this second touch here by First Killer, Rapid, as he was coming back into net, he was trying to figure out how exactly that ball was going to come down, but that second touch kept the ball in the air for Kronovi to just jet in. The rest of Flight were flat-footed, trying to race back to the net.
Yeah,
Big
exactly
first goal and making a second.
Rogue needed, man. They need to try and keep that up now, because they're not the only team who have looked a bit disorganized on this field today. We've also got a very disjointed Flight roster, and maybe now that Rogue have got an early goal, they can settle in and they can start to get pressure on their opponents. So if they can, then I wouldn't be surprised to see them run away with this one.
Already you're seeing him move down the pitch pretty well. First Killer takes up the pass from Kronovi. He couldn't find a shot, so he'll take the ball away. And that 50 will be good for Wonder. Wonder going for his own. It's a double commit, and Wonder will punish. Big goal for Rogue. 2 up now against Flight.
Very nice play by Wonder. He was a real question mark coming in today defensively, but look at the delay on that 50-50 midair. Just leans away from the ball and lets it come off his car, while 2 defenders fly in front of him. 2-0 Rogue, barely a minute gone.
This is where Flight's issues really start. You really start to see them highlighted, especially on defense. So much pressure, and they double commit probably the most often out of all the teams in North America, even with just a little bit of pressure. So Flight, they have to figure this out on defense. They have, whether it's talking to each other or just being better positioned on defense. That first goal where Memory got that attempted save and both players racing back into net, hoping to get the rebound and play reactive to the touch. You got to find a way to get control of this game. Seabass continuing touch to Memory, bouncer off the ramp, shots good, and Flight, they're gonna get right back into it.
Yeah, nicely done by Flight here. This isn't a position you'd usually expect to get a goal from at this level, but that bounce across the box, it really wasn't too easy to read. First Killer flying off in the wrong direction, and the follow-up was pretty quick already. Flight on the board. You're talking about these 2 teams in a comparison. I think if they both play their best, then Rogue would be the favourites. It's been close today. Oh, Wonder getting another goal though, and this one right after the kickoff. First Killer with the centre ball.
Beautiful touch from First Killer out over Wonder, who puts it out to the backside. If Wonder, he tries to put it to that backside, his rotating back, I believe, was Rapid on the play, or no, Seabass. It's keeping it out of reach. Kickoff goal, keeping that 2-goal lead. Flight trying to respond with a kickoff goal of their own. They're not going to get it, but they will have an extended look here in the orange half. Ooh, Seabass just missing that touch, but Rapid will buy a little bit of time for Memory. Not a ton, because First Killer tees it down. Seabass comes up with a save in the nick of time.
Yeah, First Killer, he wanted the shot there. He was trying for the impossible angle. It just got a bit too hard of a contact on it. Still looking good for Rogue though. They're getting a lot of chances on net. And apart from that one centre that bounced awkwardly for them, everything that Flight have tried to do at the other end of the field has been answered. First Killer with an awkward knock-on, but Rapid's got it covered. But you're really looking at Flight now to come up with a solution, because what Rogue's doing right now is countering them pretty well. They're getting so many chances on net, and there's only 2 minutes and change left in the opening game here. Winner stays in RLCS, loser goes immediately down to the rival series. And if things keep going like this, loser in this one, definitely going to be Flight.
Yeah, it's looking solid for Rogue. The option coverage has been good. They haven't overcommitted on anything on offense. And I mean, when Rogue do get on offense, that's when they look their best. It's when they get on defense that all the question marks start to come up. Wonder on the carry, flips it right over Seabass. Another tap, but it's taken away by Memory. And wrap it up for it quickly. He'll beat Crow to the ball. He's got Memory right behind him. He'll kick it over First Killer. Rapid shot just wide, but putting it in is denied. First Killer can't keep it out of the net for long. Flight, 1 goal down.
Great pressure by Flight. All 3 members getting involved. That's what you want to see from all the RLCS teams these days. The willingness to commit for realistic chances on the goal. And with the goalkeeping that we're seeing from Rogue, that's going to be necessary moving forwards. Not going to be easy to get the ball past these guys if they're staying organized defensively. That was brilliant by Flight. Great pressure, great execution.
Now downfield, Kronovi shot on net, and Rapid can't get there. Beautifully placed from Kronovi.
That pass as well by First Killer. So much power on that ball. Kronovi just has to lean into it, and it goes flying on net. That's brilliant by the new member of the team. The player who's so well known for what he can do by himself on the field. And looking to make a name for himself as a team player.
Ooh, nice on the reset by Kronovi to keep the ball in the corner. And Kronovi is legendary of the name as he is in competitive Rocket League. To see him fighting to stay out of an auto relegation spot is, you know, it's got to be difficult for Kronovi fans out there and Rogue fans. You would never expect one of the legends of this game to be put in this spot. It's just Rogue. They've been that up and down team. It's been a dogfight in North American RLCS. There's just teams taking off wins off of each other. Other than Space Station, you know, no team has really had a good bout of consistency as much as Space Station has. And for Rogue, it's been the most up and down season you could imagine, and Flight just run across nobody from Rogue had a read on this ball, and Flight with 14 seconds left have a chance.
Well, that's a really easy finish there for Memory. The ball just comes across the box like something you're likely to see in ranked, and nobody there to challenge it for Rogue. They're all sitting underneath it, hoping that no one's there to score it. This time, they are hopeless as they watch Flight come back in another opportunity. Memory denied at the near post. They're still coming forward though.
First Killer and Wonder both commit on the play. Rapid, he wants Memory, but First Killer's there. Rapid trying to dive forward, and Rogue 2 game wins away from avoiding relegation.
Overall, that was good enough for Rogue. There's no denying it. But there were a few easy goals that they've conceded there, especially that last one at the end. They're all just queuing up in net, covered in the near post, and nobody's got the backboard covered, nobody's got a high ball covered, or an infield pass for that matter. That's the real danger for Rogue, is that they get too comfortable in defense and they misread exactly what the opposition are doing. And there's a lot of things Flight have failed to do this season, but one of them is not play quickly. They are a very fast team, especially when they're attacking the ball. So you need to keep an eye on all the options they've got available to them, or else they're going to catch you off guard with very simple centers like they did at the end there.
Hey, First Killer on offense was just, you know, dishing out passes and attempted shots that turned into goals, picking up 3 assists. Wonder and Kronovi picking up a pair of goals as well. I like this Rogue offense, and you know, the last time that I casted Rogue, this is exactly what Rogue did. Yeah, they were good. They on the spacing and midfield was good. Presence overall solid. Communication looked like it was there. That happened again here for Rogue, but the defensive issues, they're still kind of irking you in the back of your mind because they weren't without them against Flight. So this is not over by any stretch for Flight. They've had a couple of good sequences down the field. They just got to keep that going.
Yeah, Flight are finding success in attack. There's no denying that. And Rogue looked vulnerable despite the fact that they haven't had any huge misplays in defense with players flying forward in the ball at the same time as their teammates. It's more of a coverage thing. They're not spreading out as well as, say, Space Station do, and you don't even need to spread out in terms of position. It's more to do with which way the cars are facing and what they're ready for. Here again, the ball's just bouncing middle, and Kronovi has to lunge into position to block it. That was just a routine center ball again, almost making its way past the Rogue defense.
Oh, and A little too hard of a ball for Wonder, but the miss from Seabass will allow them to progress. There's first killer's shot, and he won't miss. Rogue on the board.
Yeah, first killer's having a great series overall. It's been quick as he makes moves onto any free ball like the one that he just had there. But more importantly, he's been a team player, and he's really slotted into this Rogue lineup well. Especially, like you said, in the assist element of the game. But now he gets on the scoreboard as well. It's still overall looking good for Rogue today. They've got to try and get a solid win though before anybody's going to be convinced that they can be a top team again like they once were.
It'll be a high pass to first killer. Will come down, didn't have the angle. Now Rapid will air dribble this over, or at least get back to it. Now first killer pick it up off that challenge from Wonder. He's got Kronovi downfield, but they can't connect. And it's going to be a long clear for Flight. Rogue wanting to progress. They're forced back on their own back wall. First killer is by 1. And Flight will keep them in the third for now. And Wonder's flip up is just to buy time, but that could have been really dangerous for Wonder. Still Rogue hanging on defense. First killer's first flip. Rapid closes it. And this is good for Flight on offense right now. But first killer will pick up that midfield boost. It forced Memory to go back, and now they had to give up possession. Kronovi, Memory just backing up out of that. Could have been disaster for Flight, but they do handle the transition well, and now they're back on offense. Seabass, nothing.
Yeah, first killer's having a great game. I'm loving the way he's passing the ball. I'm loving the fact that he's looking for passing opportunities ahead of even a power clear where he's got a really good hit lined up on the ball. So if he can keep that up, then Rogue are going to have a great chance turning this 1-0 lead into a win. But they really need to be careful because they didn't look comfortable at the end of the last game, trying to hold on to the lead. But that's much better though. 2 goals will definitely be an easier lead to hold on to. And Kronovi did a lot of work in the near post here.
Yeah, just getting that touch out as he came up off the back, want to pop the ball straight back out, and Wonder finds the seam, weaving his way through traffic. And Rogue looking pretty good in game 2. And you love seeing that from Kronovi. He's always been that player on his team that just wants to keep things going, keeps plays alive, sets up opportunities for his team. That was a crazy ball jetted towards Flight's net. But Flight, they have to stop the bleeding now. They cannot let this go on any longer if they have hope of surviving this match. Kronovi stops the ball in midfield. Pass to Wonder. Wonder slips it by, but Rapid will pick up the save. Memory wants Rapid. Flight will have to fight for this in the orange half.
Wonder's playing a great second-man role today. We saw a really nice pre-jump attempt to check this out by First. Oh, what a shot! What a save by Rapid as well. And another one, double save for Rapid. Keep First Killer and Rogue at bay. Really, Rogue are playing some great Rocket League right now. They're creating chances with all 3 members. And another great save, this time Kronovi. End-to-end stuff here. Rogue still lead by 2.
Now, goalie's definitely the highlight for both squads there on that sequence. Now Rapid, he wants to pass to Memory. Maybe the bump onto Kronovi. Maybe both, because there's Memory. Here's Seabass, can't beat First Killer to the ball. Rapid, it's a good cutoff, but can he get back to it? No, First Killer. You want to play it away from Flight, but, you know, that was part of the game plan there for First Killer. Right back into him, he gets the massive clear.
Yeah, I bet that for a power hit from First, just sending the third man running all the way into the corner. That's what you get when you play against First Killer. Every single hit is a power shot. This is a lot better from Rogue. They've been tested, but they've passed the test so far in defense. And offensively, I've been very impressed. We've seen double bumps, we've seen pre-flip threats, we've seen double touch threats, all 3 members getting involved. And Flight have had a real tough time handling all that. And both the goals they have conceded, they were really tough to stop as well. Rogue all the way forward again. That's not a bad save from Memory using his own crossbar. Flight need 2 goals in 30 seconds, and they're going to drop 2-0 down in the series.
Rapid takes it off the ceiling, looking for a double tap. Does he got it? Oh, he did, but it was right into First Killer. That shot was wide, and that was the best chance Flight had all game. And now time, their worst enemy, with about 10 seconds remaining. That was the one they needed. Now it's just about keep away for Rogue. They do it well, and First Killer wins a 50, and time will expire. And Rogue, one more game win as First Killer puts in one to head to game 3, playing one more to stay in.
One more game, 3 match points in order to stay out of auto relegation. This is exactly what Rogue needed. And not just because they're going to get the win, at least it looks likely at this point, but the way that they're doing it is going to give them some great momentum going into the promotion relegation battle with whoever comes up from RLRS to fight them for their RLCS spot next season. All 3 members, great in offense for Rogue this game. And defensively, we didn't really see too many mistakes. They were playing very patiently with the 3rd man and helping each other out a lot better than they did in game number 1.
And FLT just got into this rhythm at the end where they were just trying for a hard clear after hard clear, and Rogue were just cutting it off every single time. And then you start to look at it and you're like, now you're just giving up possession. They really couldn't find any room. And when they did have room, they were either low on boost, so they felt they had to give the ball away to buy themselves some space, but there really wasn't any space for FLT. So, for Rogue, it's just business as usual. FLT, they've been trying to find these passes, but the passing lanes haven't been there. The passes haven't been solid. Their touches haven't been exactly as they want them. Rapid has had a few passes that have been light touches where Memory or Seabass are following him, and it's just not on target. They're not finding each other, and they have to find a way to get stronger touches on the ball, kind of like Rogue are right now. Even with First Killer getting all of the power touches that he is, he's also finding his teammates in space.
Yeah, First Killer's been very impressive. I think easily the most impressive player so far at the 2 games we have seen. And it's not been because of solo efforts, although we did see a few very, threatening offensive opportunities for him. It's been mostly the team plays and, the control that he's got on the ball when he brings it down, forcing multiple members of FLT to come at him in order to dispossess him. That really takes the pressure off Wonder and Kronovi, who aren't marked. They're not under pressure from FLT players, because First Killer's drawing so many people at himself that there's more space for Kronovi and Wonder to utilize elsewhere on the field.
We are having a slight connection issue, so we're just getting all the players back into the lobby to get this next game underway. Rogue right now in position to sweep FLT and survive the auto relegation spot that was just added this season. No team wants to be the first owner of that slot, and unfortunately one of these 2 teams will be that owner, and it's looking more and more like it might be FLT. They definitely need something here to help turn things around, something for FLT. They love going for a couple of those solo plays. Rapid, when he gets under pressure, he'll try to air dribble the ball with his dominance, try to find that 50-50 win or kick the ball out or get an optimistic chance at the net. But plenty of things for FLT to work on in this next game. And I think that FLT there's still some good things to like about this team in this series, but definitely going to be tough.
It's going to be very difficult. Rogue have played quite well, and one of the big win conditions for FLT coming into this one was maybe they would run into Rogue, who are not playing very well, because a lot of this season we've seen Rogue falling over to each other, getting in each other's way, really not looking like a contender for a mid-table, the top of the table spot. But today, Rogue, they've looked a lot better. This is one of the best looks that I've seen from them all season long. And if they can keep this up, I think they should just be sweeping today, not even looking to go any further than 3 games. But FLT have, they've had a couple of threatening opportunities. It's definitely a good enough performance by them to beat Rogue if Rogue do start to run into each other, if they start to have lots of defensive mishaps. Or maybe if they, struggle to score a bit more, they could be looking too much to press upfield and leave space behind them for FLT to exploit. But, both those win conditions involve Rogue misplaying. So as long as they can avoid that, they should be good to go.
And if this season's anything to indicate, you can't count out that it still might happen in Game 3. Rogue have looked really good and really bad in the same match several times this season. For First Killer, who's developed so well as a player over time, used to be very very solo oriented, used to try to do everything himself before he came into the RLCS, and has really, really developed well as a threes player. We see it in the series. It's just sometimes for first killer, he might try to go too fast at times, but he definitely, Rogue, obviously Rogue don't want to get relegated, but for first killer, for his first season in the RLCS, a guy that's had so much hype around him in North America, at least give yourself a shot in a tournament to stay in this, because it's not easy. There's some of those rival series teams down there. They're looking pretty good as their season's coming to a close. Neither of these teams want that, and we are still getting things fixed and underway, getting everyone connected, making sure everyone's happy and good, and we'll get the series underway shortly.
Yeah, we should be ready to get started any minute now, but this is maybe a bit of good fortune for Flight, because they were running into problems in that second game, Rogue, where they were getting some good momentum on their side. They're starting to play some very nice Rocket League. So this is a chance for Flight to really catch them off guard. It was Memory who was highlighted as the star player and Flight's only win this season. So look to him maybe to step up. He's had quite a quiet series so far. None of the Flight players have been incredible. They've all been acceptable, I would say, but not good enough to beat a Rogue team that's playing as well as they are.
Not at all. And for Memory especially, I mean, Memory's been kind of up and down in the RLCS back when he was on Space Station, and earlier when he was on way back when on Set to Destroy. Memory, his first time in the RLCS, where they could not stay in. And I think just point I'm trying to make is he's had such an up and down career, and it has to be difficult to, you played on Ghost last season, and you had to feel pretty good about where you were sitting with Ghost. You didn't end where you wanted to, but you also didn't get relegated or end in those last spots. And then you have to switch teams. And for Flight, you look at this team and the way they got to the RLCS, Johnny, they got there with Aeon in the promotion tournament, and then they got rid of Aeon and picked up Memory instead. And I don't think Memory has had the greatest season. I'm not saying it's his fault. I think all three players you could look at and kind of point to errors that got them here. But you have to start wondering about that decision a little bit and whether or not kicking Aeon was the right decision.
Well, so it's been a tough one for Flight, no doubt. It was always going to be a difficult season, but you look at the other team that qualified, Sonics, they're favorites actually, but going to be contesting later on in the last series of the day. They're going to be fighting for a top 2 spot. So Flight have got to be thinking to themselves, what have we done wrong that Sonics did right? Because they're, coming into this season, they were, the bottom 2 teams in most people's eyes, but one of them's done exceptionally well, the other's done exceptionally poorly, and it shows you that sometimes you can transition into the RLCS perfectly, and sometimes you can't. And Flight, they'd rather have the option of solving those problems as a team, which they can, of course, have if they don't get I almost said disqualified. That's not the right word. Relegated. If they don't get auto-relegated, then they can still try and fix their problems as a team, bounce back next season. But if they're auto-relegated, they have to wait an entire half of a year before they can think about, giving RLCS another go. And that's not something that they want to do. They have to win 3 games in a row now if they're going to stay in RLCS, or have a chance even to stay in RLCS. And we'll be getting started on the first of those 3 games very shortly. We're hoping to get Wonder back in the game. It's actually quite funny. Rapid's trying to egg them on to use a substitute, but Rogue are not falling for it yet. They don't want to go down that route unless they absolutely have to.
Don't get baited. But we will actually go to a short break while we try to get Wonder back in. So we'll go to a break. Don't go anywhere too far. We'll be back to finish the series. Welcome back. We are just getting back to Rogue versus Flight. Rogue are up 2-0 in the series. Unfortunately, Wonder has been having some connection issues, and so he will not be joining for Game 3. Garen will be coming in, Rogue's sub, to finish out the set, and maybe makes things a little more interesting, Johnny, for Flight.
Certainly, we've had a few twists in the tail this season with regards to substitutes, but this one's not exactly the same as, Cloud9 bringing in a veteran player like Fireburner. Garen, completely new to this level of competition, and although he's mechanically capable and he's got the full faith of Kronovi and Firskiller as he steps in here to be their third player, this is going to be a massive test. They need one game out of the next three. But I think the most important thing is that they just get some sort of rotation established in this third game here, because if they start falling apart and have the potential for getting tilted early, especially Garen maybe getting tilted, I don't know if that's something he has problems with. This could be a disastrous turn of events for them. But this is also a chance for him to prove himself at this level. Garen stepping in for Rogue in game 3.
It's probably the most optimistic, if you're on Flight or a Flight fan, that you could feel being down 0-2 in a series. And, hopefully for Seabass, Rapid, and Memory, they get a little more confidence back. Obviously, when you throw in a wild card of somebody who hasn't played at the RLCS level, it can be unpredictable. But I think that for Firstkiller and Kronovi, Johnny, like you said, getting some sort of rotation established, not trying to put too much on Garen's shoulders, not trying to put him in too many awkward third man positions or positions where he has to make the play. If Firstkiller and Kronovi can manage the ball, manage possession, then they might be able to survive. But we don't know. We haven't seen Garen play yet. We don't know at what speed he's capable of. And RLCS speed, it's just different. Playing at this level, he might play with these players on and off in scrims or in ranked or whatever. But when you're playing in this league, the speed is just different. And Garen's going to get a first-hand taste of it. Can Rogue keep it going? They need one more game win. Firstkiller shot to start off game 3, taken away by Memory.
You talk about Garen being under pressure. Well, let's see if Firstkiller and Kronovi try and help him out here. Are they going to try and keep him out of awkward positions and give him an easier job to do? Already getting involved. Garen beats one to the ball. He's got a 50-50 with another. Now a chance for Garen to make a redirect play. It's into the bar. Rogue are making plays early on in game 3. They want to get this over and done with as fast as possible.
And I like it. Getting that pass over to Garen, starting to feel a little more comfortable in the first minute. And a nice clear from Garen out to the far corner. Rapid keeping it close, but Kronovi will win the 50. Now Firstkiller pulling off against Seabass. Seabass ends up losing in midfield there. It was good patience from Firstkiller. And he'll take this ball away from Rapid as well. So Rogue in the first minute, as far as it goes. Garen's been asked to make a couple of touches, and he's made all of them. Kronovi wins a 50 against 2, and now it's one man back. He got bumped, and Garen scores the first for Rogue in game 3.
And that is about as good of a start as you're ever going to get. Welcome to the RLCS, Garen, with the opening goal for Rogue as they look to secure their spot in 8th and 9th, trying to get into the relegation promotion playoffs, send Flight into auto relegation. And you said it yourself, this is the best chance Flight are going to get. If they can't beat Rogue 3 games in a row with a sub playing, then they definitely don't deserve RLCS next season. This is their opportunity. They need a comeback win now.
Seabass's touch is taken away. Up high, Flight, double commit by Rogue, but too far back was Seabass. And now Rogue moved back to the blue half. Memory, air dribble down the field, and the ball got a little too high for him to reach. But Rapid will take it off on the corner. So far well handled by Rogue. There's Rapid with a demo. Seabass's shot is in! Kronovi could not get it! And Flight tie.
Good placement by Seabass. He saw Firstkiller struggling here, and he noticed Kronovi off the goal line. All he had to do was get this ball high and into that top corner. And Garen was also demoed at the back post. Nobody covered in the net properly there for Rogue. Flight are back in it. This is a real opportunity for them. Will they be able to put the pressure on Rogue now? See if Rogue are going to crumble when they start to go down in games.
We'll start with Seabass on the attack for Flight. Garen next up for the challenge. Does get one against Seabass, but Rapid next on the rotation for Flight. Popped up in front of the box. Kronovi able to beat the attacker to the ball. There's Rapid back to Seabass, and First Killer dives for the save. And now back the other way, First Killer. He can't get it over Memory. Memory over to Seabass. Good touch defensively. Rogue looking to lock down midfield.
So far, the game plan for Flight seems to be just get quality hits on the ball and wait for Rogue to fall apart. You know, when they're playing with a sub, it is more likely to happen. But credit to Garen, you know, this is a super high pressure situation and he's holding his own in this game. Chance for Rapid. He's going to go for the double touch. That was on, but saved by Crow. The Rogue are still tied up in the series. The veteran with the goalkeeper to keep them in it.
And you're definitely going to need that kind of play from Kronovi. First Killer. He's been stepping up here too with the carries. There's a good pop of Kronovi out of boost. He won't be able to do much in midfield. Garen having to sit back. Kronovi had no look at it. Garen late to it in First Killer. Back over to Garen. Another chance forward. Rogue. Kronovi will win one touch, and he will keep the ball locked in the blue half. See Garen closing in midfield, but Seabass wins the touch. First Killer whiffs. Kronovi ends up getting the save. That was a dangerous situation for Rogue, but Kronovi handled it probably as best as he could. Here's Garen. The bump almost came through for Rogue, but Garen could not get his way through. Kronovi couldn't get the bump. Flight back on offense.
Garen looking for the flip reset. In fact, he missed it, almost mind game Flight defense. They're all showing Garen and Rogue quite a lot of respect here, sitting back behind the ball with their full team. Rogue need to be careful. They've been close to conceding on a few of the last Flight defensive plays. First Killer passed two, but the third man had a free shot. Flight on the hunt late in the game. They've got 45 seconds to look for the game winner before overtime. There's another opportunity. First Killer gets it clear now. They're down the line on the counter attack. First Killer air dribbles into the bar. He's got Garen in support, and Garen's done it again. 2-1.
Two for Garen. First Killer, this is beautiful second touch to get it by Seabass. Memory, he doesn't jump off the line cleanly. Has to come back down to try to find the read, and Garen punishes him. That's two. Johnny, I love it. You can't write it any better than this. First Killer off the kickoff, and 3 goals for Rogue. Are they gonna close?
Garen and Seabass come head to head. The ball barely moves. Look how close of a cheat that is by First Killer. Straight down the middle. You know, sometimes that close cheat gets punished, but this time the fortune is on Rogue's side, and they've been, you know, really unfortunate today to have the connection issues with Wonder, who is playing well. You'd think that this is maybe just the good karma coming back around. Rapid air roll shot into the bar. It's wide open, but nobody's there. And now there's only 20 seconds left. 2 goals needed for Flight, or they are relegated to the rival series.
Rapid gets there quickly. They need a goal with time left, but here's First Killer on the punch. That one off the backboard, saved by Memory, but saves aren't good enough anymore. It's a win for Rogue. They stay alive in the RLCS. Flight are relegated. They survived. Rogue, wow. Wow. Wonder was playing so well this series, and for Garen to come in, and you know Rogue fans out there are saying, really, is this really how our season is going to end? We look good, and then Wonder is having connection issues, and you wonder how Garen is going to look going in. And Flight, they had a lot more offensive presence in Rogue territory. It definitely looked a lot different for Rogue. It didn't look as comfortable, but it was those transitions. First Killer and Kronovi, both of his teammates, setting Garen up for those 2 goals, and then First Killer on that sheet up. That was wonderfully done by Rogue, by First Killer, Garen, Kronovi. This team survived, and now you're looking a little bit better heading into the promotion tournament.
Yeah, that's going to do wonders for their confidence, no pun intended. But you know, Garen did such a great job here. He filled the role that Wonder was playing really well. We saw Wonder following up and scoring plenty goals after his teammates give him open nets. But that's exactly what Garen did twice this game. He was in the perfect spot, arriving at the perfect time, and he hit both those shots. Now, they weren't insane shots, but you try hitting an open net in your debut match in RLCS when you're subbing in for your team who are fighting to avoid auto relegation. And, those shots are a lot harder to hit. So massive credit to Garen stepping in today and helping out Rogue to secure that 8th place position.
A very exhilarating way to end that series, but we got one more match in league play coming up. It's Sonics versus G2. Both teams trying to secure that top 2 spot. Who comes away with it? Find out after the break.